What am I drinking?
Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Hold on a minute.
We don't drink, Mark. We're saved. Okay. God forgive us. Okay.
She said, God forgive us.
Lord,
Okay,
I didn't mean that. You made me say it.
wait, must see.
There we go.
Oh, whoa,
Okay.
what is that? Oh.
Oh, me? That's me, Jack.
Whoa,
Okay.
whoa.
You
Okay,
love me.
so.
Okay. Let's try and start this off.
Say it. Say it. You better say it. Say it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it could be. Okay, we're ready. I got
Okay.
my orange.
You want to leave this screen up, or do you want to go to this one?
No, let's go to this
Watch,
screen.
you won't be able to find the chat, Mark.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, they're probably. I bet they hung up.
No, we're right here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for doing all of this. Really, we'd still be doing this midnight.
No problem. We figured we'd help you like other people have helped us. So.
Okay. So here we are.
I needed this much help.
Oh.
Okay, no.
We're here. What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and
Oh, it
girls,
does
children
that.
of all ages, YouTube is proud to bring to you
We're gonna get
the
them.
live stream champions of the world. I'm the big bear. She's the mama bear. And we are the Big Bear Homestead.
Okay.
When can I do mine?
Well, do you have one?
Do you have one?
Not
We-
like
we-
that.
We have one of everything up here. All right, tell me when we can do ours. Oh, are they on there?
Go for it. You got one. You do it. I was just getting ready to introduce you, but
Okay,
Take it away.
take it away.
we don't have the chat because we have to go on. Forget it. You have to tell us what they're asking. Okay. Are they? Am I live? Can they see me?
Yes,
Oh,
everybody can see you. They see.
Okay,
your
ready?
picture.
Ready for ours?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Bee Lady Apiary.
Bee Lady.
We make money. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. When do yours? No. Okay.
And I'm just the bee man, and if I tried to sing, it would break this machine.
Oh, Mark, that's Robin.
Yeah.
She's Miss Mama Bear,
That's it.
and that's Jason, and he's
Big Bear.
somebody.
Somebody.
I don't know, Mark. I don't know. He's along for the ride.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way. Really starting to feel that way.
Okay, so what's up?
Okay,
Oh.
everybody. So,
Do they?
welcome to the show.
So what do they see? A little box of
He's
us?
talking.
I know he's talking. I'm so used to talking over you that it just comes natural talking over somebody else. Now
Not
I'm
gonna work.
sorry. Why?
Not gonna work on this.
Okay,
Man's trying to talk.
I'm sorry. It's a habit I have. I always talk over him.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you lose control of a live stream.
Okay, so Elizabeth, I have a quick question for you. We
I
are.
haven't even introduced them yet.
Everybody knows this is Elizabeth and her husband Mark. They are from the Bee Lady Apiary show, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right?
And
Yes.
you have just started producing some of your own videos on YouTube, right? Have you released some?
We have only 3.
Okay.
Can I talk?
Well, you got to start somewhere. So
Well, see, I can't talk over Robin because she's a female and she has important stuff to say. Anyway,
see us girls, we got to hook. We got to stick together.
look at he goes. Anyway, oh, you do too. Anyway, we have a lot of videos.
Mm-hmm.
We don't put the videos online because we're looking for a secure place. Yes, dear.
Right.
This is your time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
I mean,
why?
I don't know what videos we have.
You know, all the videos I take out there when we're out there doing different things.
Right.
Okay.
And I say, gee, I should put these online. And you go,
No, that's fine. Yeah, we just haven't gotten around to it, I guess.
oh, really? So I can put them all up there?
I guess.
Okay.
There it is.
Bye.
I heard it. You heard it.
It's
We all
recorded
heard it.
now. It's recorded.
It's recorded.
Okay.
We have a lot. I don't know what people want to see though. I will say this, blowing my own horn. Would you tell them I'm always like this?
Always. Always.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm intelligent. I'm intelligent. I just don't have to act that way.
Elizabeth, you actually have a very interesting story. I don't know if you want to share it now, but
Which one?
well, just about how you worked for a company, retired, and
Oh yes, for 28 years. Yeah, and then I got a disability retirement. And all of you people up there in the chat room, I hear people say, "Oh, I had to take a disability retirement. I had to take a disability retirement." I sure hope you're getting your disability Social Security.
now listen.
You can't work. You get your butts down to the Social Security department and you get your money. And can they hear me?
Yep.
Okay, and from the day that you can't, it starts, what is it, 6 months after you can't work.
Mm-hmm.
And this is totally separate from any other benefits, separate from your company benefits, separate from vet benefits, separate from any benefits. The two are separate.
Right.
You go on down there and you say, "Hi, I can't work." And from the day you apply, they start counting. Now, it took me a year to get mine. Then you just go get one of these attorneys that says, "Don't worry about it," because they're the ones that will go with you, and they by law can only take 7% of your claim, and they make sure that they get your money, and your money is retroactive to the time
You apply.
that you filed the claim.
That's right.
All you have, they know your Social Security number, okay? And I can't believe how many people are like, "Oh, I can't do that." I grew up dirt poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. I did. But we never got any benefits for anything. We never did any of that. But I tell you what, after working 28 years and paying all those taxes,
Right.
I want everything and anything the government can give me. Now, food stamps, no, I don't qualify for. I wouldn't even go down there. But the disability thing was a big thing. And in New York State, they have something called VESIT, Vocational Education for Students, Disabilities, and something else. And they pay for a big chunk of your college education.
Mm-hmm.
And because mine was my shoulder, I got a free laptop so I could dictate into it and didn't have to talk, and you get a counselor to talk to you and everything. And after whatever degree you decide to get, either a 2-year or a 4-year, whatever, they work along with you. Now, they changed it in New York. I don't know if you're in a state other than New York with the governor we have, they might pay a little bit more, but you may have to kick in some, but they're right there to help you. And that's how I got my bachelor's. Then after that, I had to figure out how to get my master's free, because Lord knows I live with a thrifty husband. So my best thing was to excel. And I got a fellowship SUNY fellowship for women going to school who have a diversity. Mine I was 50 at the time, and I was Black.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all. I needed a couple letters. What was the other thing I was going to say about that? The education.
I don't know, but all this stuff is New York State.
This is all New York State.
Right.
I think other states have something. You just want the Social Security disability. No matter what else you're getting, if you're disabled and you have worked anywhere, you need to take yourself down there and get that money. Really? Right?
Yeah, if you can.
You can. Yeah, and I found out by it just as a stroke of luck. So then I had been to school before, and so they took all those credits. And so I actually, when I started back, I had 72 credits. So I started school as a junior, and that helped a lot. And I took a lot of CLEP tests, across the country.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You want your children, anybody out there with college-age children, You want them to take CLEP test, CLEP, because they can walk in there and for, I think it was $90, 120, whatever. It's based on what they know. They can walk out with 60 credit hours. No, 6 credit hours. I know our daughter took off on a lark her second semester in school, and she came back and she took CLEP test and made up that whole semester for her, what do you call those things?
Bachelor's?
No, for her, what do you call those things?
Credits.
You don't have to take. Electives.
Electives. Oh, okay.
Trust me. Okay, so much for, I just had to plug that because a lot of people walk around and all this money's floating all over the place. And anybody out there that happens to be a disabled vet, if your children go to school, you sign up and they'll get, what is it, $450
Okay.
a year for every year they complete 12 credit hours. I keep thinking a semester, but whatever.
Nice.
It's a year.
A year.
But
So all that to say that you went through and did
got my master's.
and then,
And I went through, got my master's, and now I'm a licensed literacy specialist in the state of New York.
there you go. So you're basically
I don't use.
so basically the state of New York gave you money to educate yourself to then give back to the state. So that's really cool to be able to use
Right.
come full circle like
Right.
that. Really neat.
That's right.
That,
Yep. See, you got to go for it. I'm telling you.
that's
You
it.
got to go for it.
So
how did you get into bees?
Actually, God told us to get into bees. Told me through prayer. But I studied bees 2 years before because Mark was still working. Honey, you want to say anything? I'm doing all the talking here.
well, you're a better talker.
And so I studied books and he wasn't opposed to it. And so we just went out and everybody goes, oh, start with 1 hive, start with 2 hives. We started with 10 because we knew we were going to blow them away. We knew that first year we were going to annihilate some. Yeah, we did. And I will say this for any aspiring beekeepers out there, 3 things. Number 1, if you don't know what American foul brood is, get online and find out what it looks like.
find out. That's right.
Okay, that's deadly. You get that, you got to burn your hive. Right?
Okay. I got to amend something here.
Okay, go ahead, amend.
If anybody's interested, I would recommend you start out with 2 hives. When we started out with 10, it was almost overwhelming.
Too much, yeah.
It was just too much to manage
I didn't think so.
and learn. Well, you didn't think so.
Is that
but-
because you were doing most of the work?
Yeah.
Wait.
I was doing the work.
I was up here with literally 5-gallon buckets and sugar. You have no idea how much these bees eat. Anyway, American foul brood.
Okay, wait, no.
No, go ahead. You're not
No.
done.
The first thing you should do is get in touch if you're interested in beekeeping.
Yeah.
Is get in touch with a local beekeepers association. The problem with the internet is there's a lot of bad information about beekeeping on Google.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's a famous saying that if you ask 10 beekeepers the same question, you'll get 15 different answers.
That's true.
That's true.
So you run to get with an association and get a mentor and ask somebody, either he or she, who's been doing it for a while, the best way to do it for your area. Because all beekeeping is local. It's different 10 miles from here than it is here.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's, I have that issue with my mentor. I'll say something and we had a drought and he didn't.
Yeah.
And he's only about 20, 30 miles away. So that's, I think if you're gonna, you need to get with an association, have somebody take you to a bee hive and look in it.
We did that. They have classes. Yeah.
And if you look in the beehive and you're terrified, this may not be somewhere you want to go. But if you find it kind of interesting, maybe you can move ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true, because we went to the classes, we learned how to inspect a hive. We actually got to go out there, and I was surprised at how many little kids were out there with the bee things. Oh, you know, with their parents and grandparents getting into this. Okay, I told you about what's one?
American Foul Brood.
Foul Brood. Number 2, I call the kiss of death. Workers. Our first year, we'd open a hive and go, oh, wow, brood, isn't that great? And after a while, we figured out it was drone brood. Drone brood is bigger than worker brood. You want to go on?
You're getting into advanced, complicated stuff.
Is that complicated? Do you find this complicated?
Well, we've been doing bees for like 7 or 8 years, so it's not complicated to us, but it might be to people.
Okay, other people, we'll write you all a note about the things that you need to look for. And the other people, do they have questions?
Okay, so Elizabeth, one suggestion I would have, just from doing a lot of doing a lot of videos already, what I would suggest you do is these things that you feel so passionate about, go ahead and document them. When you see this American Foul Brood, or you come across something that you want people to know about, that's how Jason and I got our channel started, is by, you know, whenever we would see something that we're like, oh man, this is going to hurt, you know, then we would go and make a video about it, because we knew that somebody else would make the same mistake we did, and we didn't want them to.
Yeah.
So
these things I'm telling you about it's the end of your hive, no matter what you try. That's why I brought them up.
Yeah, but my concern is that if there's folks out there that haven't done beekeeping, you don't want to start with the worst tragedies that you can find out about.
Let's talk about how yummy honey is.
We actually don't sell our honey. We actually give it away.
Yeah.
We make mead.
Yeah, we made mead this past year.
Oh, we need your recipe. We don't make that stuff. Is it just honey or something else?
Honey, yeast.
With it?
Some other stuff. Honey and yeast and water, maybe.
I think it's honey and yeast.
I don't know. My son is the one that took on that project. When we first started doing fermenting, he wanted to learn how to do it. So.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions out there? I'll keep going on here with stuff.
What is American Foul Brood? Quake Lake Homestead wants to know.
It looks black in your hives. It's something, where did it come from? Some country, I don't know. Do you have bee inspectors in your area that are going to come? Do you have to have your hives registered and all that stuff?
No.
Okay, they do in Florida. We don't here either. It looks black. It tears your hive apart. The thing about it is, you have to burn your hive. It's a law. What is it?
Isn't that the one where if you stick a toothpick in the larva, it draws out and it hangs on?
Yeah.
The larva, it destroys
basically
the baby bees while they're in the larva stage.
It's
highly contagious. Which is why you're saying that you have to burn the hive. They found that the spores for this particular, I don't know what to call it, a virus seed or whatever it is, will last 40 years.
Yeah, that's why you have to burn.
So you have to burn you have to seal the hive up at night if you have one. We've never had one.
Right.
And you pour kerosene down inside and you burn the hive.
Burn it up. And if you have any frames that look suspicious, you're not going to want to use those either. Oh, I had a thought and it just went.
This is not our expertise, I don't think.
No, not American, because we have a different set of things up here with bees rather than you have down there. Like ours, or I don't know what are they doing with you?
So what you're saying is that's the one time that black is not beautiful.
Right. That's the only time, except for the chickens that Nicole's gonna get.
Yeah, they're pretty too. But that's pretty, not pretty.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I read today that a bee place that we have a lot of confidence in said, don't put your hives so close because if one gets something, they said that bees don't know where they're going. And they may or may not go to the wrong hive. And if they do, if they have something, they'll spread it. So that was news to us.
No, not really.
It was news to me.
Beekeeping for Dummies, if you're considering
That is
the
a
book.
I like the backyard
it's-
beekeeper.
The what?
The backyard beekeeper. That's one.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have those.
That one's good too.
Yeah. It's trial and error. It's trial and error. That's all I can tell you. One thing that we've done, and Jason, you may want to think about this because my husband has some issues, is you don't have to use deep super. You can put your bees in whatever you want. They have those medium boxes. I don't know what size they are.
Medium.
You can put your bees in supers because they're easier to pick up. It takes two of us to pick up a deep when it's loaded, and it's still too heavy for me. So keep that in mind. A lot of people in this area, and you can Google that, are going from deeps to supers for their bees to be in.
Right, but if somebody doesn't know anything about beekeeping, I don't think they're going to follow this.
No, they're not. Any other questions about? I got something to show you. These. You see them?
no, not yet.
Hey, not yet. You see
Hold on.
that?
Hold on, there's a little bit of a lapse, so we're not.
Okay, yeah, we
There
see
they
it.
are, yeah.
Can you see that?
Go, bring it back over.
Well, this is cool. Trying to find out.
Let It Snow wants us to ask you if you still want hops, because they won't be able to
Yes,
much longer. Yes, she would.
that's okay. See those?
Ricky, yes.
Yes.
These are Easter eggs. Yeah, these are Easter eggs. They're plastic, but the Native Americans, where I teach almost all the time, do this beadwork.
Cool.
They're beautiful.
Those are beautiful.
Ricky Ballard wants to know.
And also,
Ricky Ballard wants to know: do you have any issues with homeowners insurance with you raising bees?
no, we are zoned agricultural residential.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's not an issue. If you're zoned agricultural, most likely in most states,
Yeah.
you'll be okay.
But if you're zoned residential, it's going to depend upon your neighbors.
That's one of the things you need to find out is, and again,
Yeah.
this local association could tell you
Yeah.
if there's rules or limits in your area.
Yeah. I know the land we just got in Yulee is, I don't know what they call it down there, but it's agricultural.
Yeah,
Country,
it's-
rural,
it's
whatever.
open,
So, yeah.
open rural.
Your zoning is a huge thing. Up here it is. I don't know about down in the south. It's
One
huge.
lost dude wants to know: do you have to use a queen excluder between the top box and the hive?
It's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Some people use them, some don't. Some people like the queen excluder. Other people call it a bee excluder because your bees don't get up into the super and make honey. So we've used them, and now we've suspended using them.
Yeah. When we would try something like that, we would do so many on one hive and so many on the other hive. And that's why, to me, it's good to have a lot of hives. Because you can, you hear that? Did you?
Yeah, what was that?
That's my cuckoo clock. That's Hannah. That's Hannah, she's a cow. She comes out on the
I
hour.
was gonna say, sounds like a cow.
An old-fashioned life wants to know: what do you absolutely need to get started with bees?
Well,
I don't know.
I can,
Go ahead. Yeah.
I can take a shot at it. You need to buy, you should have 2 hives. There's money involved. 2. You need a smoker.
Even.
You need a hive tool, which is the way you manipulate the hives and pull out the
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah.
let's see. But basically 2 hives. You're talking about a bottom board, screened is a good choice. Then a deep.
Or a super.
And no, you start with a deep. Well,
whatever, yeah. If you have back issues, don't do the deep. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Normally start with a deep.
Yeah.
And then above that, super. So basically you need to buy 2 hives, and you can find them on Better Bee, Man Lake.
Or you can get a swarm.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a swarm, and to me, it's our best hive ever. So look for those swarms.
If you don't feel comfortable with the swarm concept, you can either buy bees by packages, or nukes.
Yeah, I'll be doing packages for the very first time this year because I'm going to participate in in New York State study on mites. So I'll be record keeping. Yeah, that's because I went to the college. Our bee club had a college course that you had to go to and dissect them and everything. And so I'm going to do that. I'll keep you posted. But I didn't find mites to be that much of a problem with us.
We lost the hives.
You think? I think it was those mice.
Well, no.
So are you crocheting or knitting?
Crocheting.
Yeah. So, let me see. Okay, so
That's for my
Well, Donna
our
asked.
daughter-in-law's mother. Yes.
okay.
Donna asked wants to clarify. Did you mean 2 hives or 2 supers when you're getting started?
Hives.
Yeah.
It's 2 complete hives. It's really recommended that you start with 2 hives so you have a comparison. And you can move brood from one hive to the other.
Oh yeah, you can do all that
If you
stuff.
run into trouble, one hive, let's say, doesn't have enough bees, and your other hive is, like, say you've got 5 frames of brood, you can move the frames over to the other hive and boost them up so they can survive better and get honey.
Now I have to toot my husband's horn before we go because Simply's coming on. My husband has joined hives, split hives.
Wow.
All that moving around stuff. You name it, with success.
Awesome.
And I have a different attitude. I go down there, we have the little soft brush for the bees. I go down with my leaf blower to get them out the way.
No,
I'm not like, yeah. I go down with the leaf blower. He's so gentle. He's go moves little bees.
and if she's in a mood, she'll take a can of Raid and say, if they really bother me, that's it.
I do. He goes, "You're killing our bees." I go, "That's the problem. You better smoke my suit." Oh, we do smoke our suits. He doesn't like to smoke them a lot. I like to drown them. We have different approaches.
Right.
So
I feel okay.
Go ahead.
I'm more introverted than my wife. If I didn't know we were going to get these kinds of questions, I didn't really know what we were going to end up doing. I guess I'd have been a little more prepared.
Email us.
If somebody
he'll tell you anything you want to know.
asks how you're supposed to start, I think it's better to talk to somebody in your local group, or you could email us.
Yeah, email us. Email, and he'll answer questions. He loves talking about bees. Don't you, dear?
Yeah.
I'm up here making up the food, huh?
Okay, well, Simply said for us to keep going.
Why? Where are they?
They're in the chat box.
They're in the chat box.
They're enjoying this.
Okay.
Hi, Simply.
That's good.
On Old Fashioned Life wants to know if swarms aren't available, where's the best place to get bees from?
Swarms are always available.
Yeah, but if you're just starting, you don't know what to do.
Go online and look for them. Packages are cheaper than nukes.
But nukes are, well.
Nukes come, nukes come with, how many frames are in those things? 5. You got a frame of brood. You got a frame of honey.
But that's not the question was asked.
Oh, where to get them?
Yeah.
She's
Someplace cheap.
You want to get your bees from somewhere local to
Yes.
your area, as
Yeah.
local as possible.
Right.
If you get bees from far away, they won't be adequately, or they won't be ideal for your area.
Right. Right.
In that they won't be used to the climate and so on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google people that vendors that sell nukes, which is spelled N-U-C,
Mm-hmm.
and or packages in your area, and you'll find them.
Now, let me say this. If you have wood lying around and you're crafty, like Scott, it's not rocket science to build a beehive.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, people are building beehives and swarm catchers like it's nobody's business. It's not rocket science. Our biggest commodity right now is time. We literally don't have a lot of time to get into that. But if you're crafty or you know someone that is, all you need is one frame. I mean, every beehive here in this country are the same dimensions. The deep frames are a little shorter, but they're all the same.
Right.
So you can build your own hives.
Mm-hmm.
You can order hives that are not painted. Okay, we get them painted because we don't have time to paint them.
Right.
But that's another way to do it. You can check on eBay. There's all kinds of places. I mean, you can, one thing they caution you about is you can buy hives and stuff, but they really caution you about buying secondhand frames, right?
Mm-hmm.
Secondhand hives.
Secondhand hives, yeah, because you don't know what they had.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you that exact same question.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do, okay, you can, as Bee Lady's saying here, yeah, you can get unassembled hives and save quite a bit of money.
Yes.
They'll come in a lot of pieces.
Yep.
And you just, especially if you're handy, and then you can paint them yourself. So you would save a lot of money.
You save all the money. What is it? Go ahead.
On the swarms. If you're interested in collecting swarms, first you've got to learn what you're supposed to do. But one way to get a lot of swarms is to post a note with your local volunteer fire department in the area and tell them that if anybody has a swarm of bees, that you're available to come and get them. So there's a whole process there where you can do that, but you've got to have a container for them. You've got to have usually your bee suit just in case. So you've got to have some that you can find. Honeybee Suite is a great site. HoneyBeeSuite. Honeybee Suite is a fantastic site for all things about bees.
About bees. Man Lake is a good place to look for things. But like D-Man said, you can get them unpainted, unassembled. It depends on how much work you want to do, or make your own. Remember Scott, he made his own.
Yeah.
He used to have stacks of wood. I'm gonna make some more supers. I'm like, yeah, good for you, buddy. I will say this: big money is in raising queens.
Mm-hmm.
I would like big money.
Yeah, because if
everybody is
queen, you can't have a successful hive.
Right, unless you want to take the chance of them making a new one. It gets dicey, those little bees, that you got to watch them like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
I can share some fun facts about these because I sort of get into trivia sometimes. Bees can fly about 15 miles an hour, which is your 4-minute mile. They typically fly about 15 feet above the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They have done studies recently that show that bees can recognize the face of their beekeeper.
Yeah, they don't like me.
Bees can count. Bees can count to 4.
Yeah.
That's just a couple of.
I would like to know how
they do like me. Huh?
I'd like to know how they figured that out.
If you open your hive, go ahead.
I've done a lot of research on the internet. There are major universities in virtually every country in the world that's what you would call advanced, researching honeybees.
Yeah, it's bad.
And they're coming up with these, they're doing studies. For example, university in New Zealand, about a year ago, found out that where it's typically thought that bees fly only, they like to fly only 2 miles to get their honey or their pollen, or people know they can fly up to 5. In New Zealand, they found that bees could fly 6.3 miles. So they've expanded that by doing research. Bees are sensitive to the sun. That's how they identify where the flower is. A bee comes back from the flower, especially if there's a great bunch of flowers and the bee thinks they're great.
Right.
They come back to the hive and they communicate it with a waggle dance. It's the angle to the sun that the bees are supposed to fly to get to the flower.
To get to the flower.
So they use the sun. Sorry?
No, I was just, go ahead.
Yeah, they use the sun. They have found that bees are sensitive to the electromagnetic field in the earth. But that's all I know. I don't have the details on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. This says, do you prefer, Donna S. asked if you prefer to use plastic or wax frame bases, or the actual foundation, sorry.
I prefer the wax. It's just plastic with wax on it.
Right.
So basically wax. Yeah.
Not the
when you are
ones.
when you are
No, not the straight plastic.
Yeah. When you are spinning your frames for honey, keep in mind that you don't want to go hog wild and just take everything off of there, because what is a tremendous amount of the bee's energy is building back that foundation. Right? Am I saying it right?
A lot of energy to draw out the comb.
Right. Yes. So we just scrape off the little
caps,
little bubbles, whatever. Yeah, and we spin it and we leave a good amount on there. I have some videos on that, and then we plonk it back in, so they don't have to start from scratch, and that gives them a jump start to keep going.
Yeah, that's what
I know people that are into commercially doing bees. They just take everything off. In New York State in 2016, 54% of the bees were lost during the winter. That's over half, which is why they're doing this study. Another thing is you might want to contact your local office, whatever it is. What is it? What am I thinking of? Town hall, whatever, to see if they're going to be spraying for Zika in your area. We did that here because they're spraying everywhere.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw on the news last year where they wiped out a whole bunch.
It's close to our area, not too far
North Carolina, I think.
Right. And one of them, which Carolina was it? Lobby. North Lobby.
They wiped out a whole apiary.
Not good. Yeah. So you could call them and say, are you going to be spraying for Zika? Now, our area, whatever you call them down there, councilman says, no. But we're surrounded by horses and apples and grapes and things like that. And, even so, down the road from us, they have to bring in beehives. Not ours, but that's another big business you may want to think about.
Do you guys ever...
Another thing is...
I know you guys don't take a lot of the wax, but I know a little bit from experience that even when you're uncapping, you end up with wax. Do you guys use the wax for anything?
Yes, she makes candles.
Votives.
And votive candles and so on. She's getting something.
I don't know. There it was. Oh, yeah. I'm coming. Somewhere coming.
Yeah, well, she's getting here.
This is one of these jars from last year. This is like a gallon.
Well, Court.
No, this is a gallon. Okay, and I'll just sort this out like dark, whatever. These were the only two votives that didn't work for me in this holder. Okay, so I'm gonna dig them out and do something else. I have little things that I keeps my coffee and tea warm that I put votives under.
Okay.
Tea lights. So I make a lot of tea lights. Huh?
Cool.
That's cool. I like that.
But this is one of three. Pardon me?
I said that's really cool. I've never thought to make votives like that.
That's from the cappings or tea lights, you know, and that's from just taking it off. And when they go nuts under the feeders, sometimes we put that back out in front. Big Bear, he's tired. He's
He
tired.
is tired. He's starting.
That's bird call too.
Yeah. Huh?
I said he's starting to yawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're simply can take over.
We're putting him to sleep.
If you have any questions, you can contact us.
Well, we had Teresa Dean asked about the Africanized honeybees, but I can answer that one. That you guys, because you guys are in New York State, you guys are just too far north. I mean, they've only just hit South Georgia. They're not even up as far north as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple years ago, there was a big debacle about a nuisance wildlife call about some honeybees in South Georgia that nobody would touch because the guy was bulldozing down an old
oh my God.
building, and they killed him on the bulldozer. I mean, they killed him quick.
It's very aggressive.
And,
how many bees did that take?
Well, the thing with Africanized bees, they empty the hive.
Yeah.
So they're super aggressive. Now, if you ever do get them, all you really got to do is put your bee suit on and go out there, kill the queen, and then and introduce a new queen. Then in a matter of a couple of weeks, it'll be back to normal. But
see, that's the thing.
You guys just get.
I see what he's saying. We normally use, what is it, Carnelian, Italian, some northern bee. But there's a new bee on the market somewhere. I don't know where. Queen bee. Is that the one that doesn't have any diseases or is?
I don't know if he was finished.
Oh, did I cut him off again?
I don't think so. Did she?
Heck, look, he's smiling. He's smiling. Oh.
All right, finish your sentence.
Sorry.
I don't remember what I'm talking about now.
Go ahead, Jason. No, Jason, go ahead.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Okay, so that was a good point.
He's still talking. Go ahead.
No,
Jason.
he said he doesn't remember it. So hold on a second. We got a really good follow-up to that statement, though. Silver Moon Acres and Homestead says, unless there are African drones in the area, then they'll hybridize. Now, that could be a problem. Well, if you have males that are also African, that can spread the Africanized.
Yeah, but if they're hybridized, they've been doing studies about this, and I've been reading on it because they've been trying because of how the population of honeybees took a hit so hard.
Right.
They're trying to hybridize some Africanized colonies with Italians and Germans and some of the other breeds. Yeah. Because they want the production of an Africanized honeybee, but without the aggression.
The aggression, right.
And that's one of the things that they said that they started to learn, that even if they do it naturally in nature, it seems the aggression goes away.
Bye, Mama. See you later.
Bye, Mama. I think you all will be okay down there because you don't use pesticides. We don't use pesticides. They have 21 acres. We have 19.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, you all get hit with those moths really hard, don't you?
Yes. And I've been doing some.
What about your hive? Those wax moths.
Yeah.
It did this last year.
I've been doing some research on just some natural traps to be able to trap the wax mold before it hits the hive. And I read one where you use like a 2-liter bottle and you set it up a certain way, but you put like banana peels and some other things in there. And it's supposed to, they'll go in there
Can't get out.
and lay the egg on the banana peels, but then they can't come back out.
Gotcha.
So
those things are vicious. We had a few, but see, up here in the winter, everything dies.
That's so
And
nice.
I don't think,
It's so nice to have a winter. We haven't had one in a while.
You don't need a winter, trust me. But so your bees are going all year round, right?
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, not this. Okay, so the last 2 winters have not really been winters, but the winter before that, like the 2 before that, we did actually have snow and ice and stuff like that, but not for a prolonged period of time. So, you know, we get into colder weather, but it's not, you know, in the teens. It's, you know, we're in the 30s. So it's not near, you know.
They still have to do something, right? How long a period is it in the 30s, or does it go up during the day?
It goes up during the day.
Okay, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to insulate the hives or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, we do. Oh.
No, they go to the middle of the hive and then they just kind of chill until spring around.
The good thing is when you see bees going in, my husband told me this, if they have pollen, you have brood in there. Okay.
Now, do you guys use any pollen traps or anything?
Any pollen what?
Traps.
No.
Traps?
No, we're not doing that.
What's that?
Well, it enables you to collect the pollen.
Yeah.
Collect some of the pollen yourself.
For what?
For yourself.
To eat.
For what?
To eat. It's very good for you.
You can eat it or sell it.
Yeah.
Once you get roaring and you have like all these hives, when we go to bee meetings, those people have 100, 500 hives. Now, here's the thing about a bee club. Usually the membership is $3 or so. You don't necessarily have to go to the meetings, but you will get emails, right? The advantage is you will get the emails over the summer saying, there's somebody needs you to come get a swarm. Somebody needs you. You get a lot of information about swarms because people call the bee club and they'll say, can you go here? And you'd be surprised. In walls, in a floor, what was one in someone's bedroom floor? I thought all over you'll get that. So that's one advantage of joining. You don't have to go to the meetings. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a lot. Robin and I did that. Matter of fact, I was the first person in the state of Georgia that successfully removed a hive of honeybees out of a wall.
Out of a house alive.
Ooh,
wow. And then established them and relocated them, and it was very cool. And
now there's a bunch of other people out there, and they all do it a lot cheaper than I do because I won't even get in the truck for less than $1,100. Because I know how messy it is. I know I'm getting stung. Because you don't do it in the winter. You do it in the middle of the summer when it's 90 to 100 degrees.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're putting on a bee suit, and you're cutting into something that you're going to end up nicking some of the hive. And so then you're pulling that out, and it's melting, and it's dripping, and it's a mess. It is a huge. And I mean, you gotta spend almost, depending upon the size of the room or where they're at. Sometimes you got to spend about $100 just in plastic to put down in people's houses, so that way you don't get honey all over the other walls. Their carpet, because once the bees,
oh my God,
you know, once you open that access to that wall where they're not going outside, they're coming into that room.
Yeah,
you're hitting them with smoke. They're eating the honey, and so now they've got honey on them. And then they're going and landing on this, or they're landing on that, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then people are looking at you like, da, 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 da. You know, and my most favorite one was
when you had to get it out from underneath. They were in the floor of an extension where they had added onto the house, but up on the top floor. It was the weirdest thing. And so there was an overhang, so you got to look out their window and up, and you could see where the extension had been built, but they didn't seal it properly. And so the bees had gotten up in there and built up in there. And so Jason had to cut up above him and remove it from up above him. So imagine all of the honey is falling on them constantly. It was like, it was probably the worst.
I was up on,
we were on second floor.
it was the second floor.
So
I had to use scaffolding.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got one of those big 32-gallon Mamma Jamma totes from Walmart. And I'm covered. And I've got all of the comb, all honey, everything.
That's good.
This 32-gallon tote, and then I had to wrap rope around it and then try to ease it down.
Imagine how much that weighed. It was
Yes, I can imagine. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and so
When you
fell to the ground.
We got on CNN because of removing bees out of a house.
2 stories worth. It went up 2 stories.
Really?
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I'm gonna look for it.
That was
chips.
10, 11 years ago.
No, about let's
I'll
see.
find it.
Carol is 11, so probably about 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, they pissed me off because
how
they called me the
wonderful.
bee wrangler.
Yeah, he was not happy about that.
And then
Now, when you go in, I'm serious.
because of that story, we also got interviewed by a radio station out in like Kentucky
I don't know,
somewhere
It
like
was
that.
ridiculous.
And then we went on a family vacation to Atlanta and went to tour CNN, and everybody's like, oh,
We know you.
You're the bee wrangler guy. Come get up front.
You're the bee people. Yeah.
And what were you getting ready to ask?
Do you have to repair those walls and floors?
I subcontract that out. What we do is I'll go in there and I'll take like my hive tool or a 3-in-1 tool or a nail puller or something, and I'll do my best and I'll scrape all the residual wax and everything off from in there, and then I will get what is called eco dust. It is a
what is it?
It's called eco dust. It is a eco-friendly type pesticide kind of.
It's all natural ingredients.
Yeah, it's got
cinnamon and clove and some other.
Yeah, and it basically they take the leaves and the bark and everything, and they crush it, turn it into powder. And then what I do is I'll dust that cavity with it. I'll dust it really heavy, and that kind of stuff is good for forever as long as it doesn't get wet.
Because it's got a residual.
And because what the dust does is if the roaches and the wasps and yellow jackets or anybody that comes in there afterwards, it will clog up their spiracles, and that's what suffocates them. And then a day or so later, we'll bring in the subcontracting guys, the drywall guys, and they go back in there and they will mud it, get it all ready to go, where all they got to do is paint it. And then the homeowner can either pay us to paint the entire room, or they take over and paint it themselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we only do swarms on trees that are. We could use a ladder, but we don't.
I'll tell you, the coolest hive we ever got was off of a chain link fence. That was actually really cool because they actually surrounded like both sides of the chain link. So it was kind of interesting trying to get them off of there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And
it's fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we love it.
It's fun. And then the nice thing about it is, I mean, when you go out and you start collecting swarms, you're growing your own apiary. But I also charge about $25 to come get them. And so you can make a little change also. But there are many.
But you're getting strong bees, huh?
Yeah, and you're not only getting strong bees, but you're getting strong local bees.
Right.
And like your husband
Yes.
said before, that is the most important
Yeah,
part.
getting them acclimated. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
True.
Mhm.
So, well, this was a lot of fun. We don't want to cut
Yeah.
their time. It's almost 9:30, so
Yeah. Where is Simply?
we're gonna have to do this again.
Yes. Next time. Well, if you want to interview us, that's fine. But next time we should be up and running, right, dear?
I would think so.
No pressure or anything.
We want to have you come back
No,
on
no
our
pressure.
Saturday show. Not
Yeah.
not this Saturday because we've already got one guest lined up. But maybe a Saturday or two after that, we'll have you come back and we'll talk nothing but bees. And then
Yeah.
that way that gives the bee man some time to
Prepare.
prepare.
Yep.
How's that sound?
Oh, he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
do
can
prepare.
send kind of a preliminary. He's gonna want. Aren't you gonna want kind of an agenda of what they're gonna discuss so you can be ready?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Okay.
Well, the agenda will go from everything from getting a hive started, taking care of your bees, to male breastfeeding, and Lord knows what else.
Stop.
That,
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and
They
call
can
it a
go
night. We're really happy to be able to share this.
Oh, thank everybody in the chat room. We couldn't see them, but we love them. And Simply is coming on, right?
Simply's
Yes.
coming on next.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
right.
Simply, I'm coming. No, Simply, I'm coming.
So everybody jump on over to Simply 7 Living and we'll
Yes.
see you guys there.
You all need to go to bed and have a cup of tea, but after what
Okay.
you've been through. Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.